This was a story that came out earlier this week, and I think it's really interesting. Supposedly, the Seattle Supersonics are nearing a deal to bring the Sacramento Kings to Seattle. We all knew a couple years ago the way Seattle or basketball ended in Seattle when they basically moved off to Oklahoma City and became a perennial contender. I mean, it's a horror story, really, for the city. Now it looks like they're going to get a basketball team back, and it's a team that, frankly, I'm not sure the Sacramento Kings were ever as important to the sports landscape in that city as the Seattle Supersonics were to Seattle. Terrible weather, so inside sports are big in Seattle. On top of that, they'd won championships. Seattle was generally a pretty solid team throughout their existence there. I think it's great that Seattle has their team back, or will at least.
No question about it. The Sonics, they had a huge history, huge fan base. Absolutely devastated for them when the team moved to Oklahoma City, especially because they had just chosen Durant in the draft, and they had a good solid core to build around. My question is, do they get their history back? I know it's a bit of a fringe question, but do they get their history back? Or
I think so. I think so because the Thunder changed their name. They lost the franchising rights to the Seattle Supersonics. I know in the NFL, when the Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore, and then Cleveland became the Cleveland Browns again. Remember, there was like 5 years where the Browns didn't exist, but it didn't matter. The Browns still have their old history with the 50s and Jim Brown and all those guys. So I think Seattle will have their old history back, just different owners.
So Gary Payton won't have his jersey hung in Oklahoma City then?
Does he have it there now? I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, interesting. He finally will have a rightful place to have his jersey hung.
You got to put Peyton's jersey right next to Kemp and Detlef Schrempf's. That's the only way that's acceptable.
I still have to feel bad for them. I mean, they get DeMarcus Cousins. They get a bit of a jigsaw going on over there in Sacramento. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins, is he ever going to mature? Is he not? Tyreek Evans had a great rookie season, and then he's regressed since then.
Yeah.
They're just not a very good team.
No, well, but there's a lot of factors to it. One, it's an anemic market. Sacramento is just, there's a reason why there's only one pro sports team in Sacramento.
Right.
It's not a great market. People don't want to go there. They're never going to get a free agent to go there. Well, number two, ownership was absolutely terrible. The Maloofs were just about as bad of owners as you had in all professional sports. With them out of the picture, I think that improves. And number three, as you mentioned, I mean, some of their young draft picks haven't panned out. I do think Tyreek Evans is a salvageable player. I think Cousins has to go. I mean, I think Seattle saw with Sean Kemp that there are players out there who simply don't have the maturity to handle being an NBA professional. I mean, you're a professional basketball player, and Cousins was a head case at Kentucky, and that's the reason why he wasn't the top pick out of that draft. He has more talent than anybody in that draft. He had as much talent as John Wall in that draft and slid because of maturity issues. And they have not gone away. They were very legitimate issues. So, that is the problem. But in the end, I don't think Seattle cares. I just think they're glad to have a basketball team back.
Yeah, they're going to embrace the team no matter what. I mean, they got their team back. It's an avid fan base. They're definitely going to embrace the team. No question about it. Great story for Seattle. Really happy for them.
What do you think about this angle? Because Seattle fans have cried about, they took our team away. They took our team away. They took our team away. But now they're doing the exact same thing to the city of Sacramento. What do you think of that angle?
I mean, the Kings, they had their heyday in that, 99 to 2003, 2004 maybe, where, you had the Chris Webbers and
the Tim Donaghy years.
At that time, everyone always said Arco Arena, as it was known then, best atmosphere in the league. I mean, you had the cowbell thing going on, that was the city of then, basically. You go to Oklahoma City now, an atmosphere that's unmatched anywhere. Because just like in Sacramento, small market, only thing to do in town, you go watch the professional team play. And so, of course, great atmosphere. But, I mean, there's just, like you said, there's not that history there. Seattle won championships. They had a bigger fan base. And also a bigger city, bigger market. So they hadn't even been in Sacramento since their existence. No. They were Kansas City before, and they had been a team that moved around. So not sold on that. Happy for Seattle.
The other thing was this, is that Seattle, I mean, they were hijacked away by somebody who was from Oklahoma City and wanted a team in his hometown. Number two, they moved from I believe Seattle's about the 17th biggest market in the country to like market number 43. That's a downsize in market. Whenever you have a franchise moving from a larger market to a smaller market, you know that that's not about good business. That's just not, there's something else there. And so the whole thing just always felt kind of fishy. The whole thing never really smelt right, I think, to anybody. This is simply a case of the team needs a fresh start. Their attendance isn't very good. They're moving to a bigger market. Put it this way. If in the NFL, let's say Jacksonville moves to LA, no one's questioning it. It makes sense. But if the New York Giants are moving to Jacksonville, that's weird. And so I think that's kind of the comparison I would take with this.
Yeah, that's the exact dynamic. And it just makes sense for Seattle to have a basketball team, full stop. It absolutely makes sense.